What's up, you all? This is Miss J again. I'm very sorry that I ended up doing this video at the very last minute. I understand that it's not only the weekend, but it's also a holiday. So, for those of you who celebrate Memorial Day, happy Memorial Day to you. Everyone else who doesn't really celebrate Memorial Day, I hope that everything is going well this far today. So, with this video that I'm about to do, I was supposed to do this video, make this video a few months ago. However, with me just buying a home and being very busy with not only work but my business, I really, I ran out of time. But everything's all cut up now. I'm cool. But what I'll be doing in this video is having you guys listen to this guy talk down on Queen Chrystul. Now, for those of you who've seen the Chrystul Kizer story part 1 on my channel, this is, of course, relating to her again. However, it's a reaction video to a guy who was bashing her. So, basically he was victim blaming her off of while she's locked up, why she was in the predicament that she was in, and so much, and so much so forth. Whatever you can imagine, this guy said a lot of negative things about Chrystul, and we will be addressing it in this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys listen to what he said, and then I'm going to go to the comment section and read you guys the comments that I responded to, because unfortunately there were a lot of creeps who were on his channel that agree with him about how this is Chrystul's fault. So hopefully you guys can hear the audio. I'm live on my laptop, and I'm playing the audio on my tablet. So I really hope that the audio is loud enough for you all to hear. It should be, because I'm right at my laptop. So let's see how this goes.
What's up, YouTube? Back again, another video. I'm trying to put them in, because it's a challenge to make these videos. You gotta have a lot of time, all right? This video is about the story about Chrystul Kizer, okay? And I don't want anybody getting in their feelings. Don't get emotional. You're just gonna talk about the facts that the so-called authorities said happened in this case, okay? You're just gonna talk about the facts. Now, seeing as though this was a 16-year-old girl at the time. She had a boyfriend, a black boyfriend, who may have been mistreating her. You know how young people are. They may have been fighting. A lot of times it takes two to tango. And in the hood where a lot of us live, black males and black females fight one another. Facts.
Unfortunate stereotypes.
Facts. Okay? So, this young 16-year-old girl decides to get online and tries to meet somebody. I don't know if she wanted a sugar daddy or whatever the case may be. So she hooks up with this white man in his mid-30s. Now she's 16. Here's a white man in his 30s. But she had no problem connecting with this white man.
So I'm going to stop the video right there, and I'm going to provide you all with my first reasoning about, my first viewpoint about what he just said. So first of all, about the whole sugar daddy bullcrap thing, No, unfortunately, she was not looking for a sugar daddy. She was in a predicament that she had no business being in because of her mom being a single mother and having an abusive boyfriend. And not only was the boyfriend abusing the mother, but he was also abusing her and her siblings. Now, when it comes to that type of abuse, I'm sorry that I started just started you guys, but when it comes to that type of abuse, more than likely, um, Chrystul and her sister were molested by this boyfriend. I mean, like we spoke about in the last video, and if you guys read the article, because I'll be making sure that I put the article down in this video so that you guys can go back and read it if you haven't seen my first video. And even if you have, still feel free and go back and read it so that you can collect all the facts. But this guy was a straight bum. He was a straight loser. He didn't work. He didn't do anything. So, with Chrystul being the oldest child, with you being the oldest child of a single parent, you face unfortunate and very difficult situations. So not only was Chrystul abused in her household, but also, she was going through a lot with her mother being a young single mother, and her mother still wanted to run the street. She didn't want to take care of her children. Chrystul was the one who was taking care of hers of both herself and her siblings. So that's a lot right there. So what happened was that Chrystul needed money for this, and that. Like I just said, she was the provider. Unfortunately, she was the provider of her and her siblings while her mom ran the street and hardly worked a part-time job. So this girl who Chrystul knew told her, hey, I know where you can get this, and that. This guy has it, blah, blah. So they ended up going on the website. Chrystul had no idea what she was talking about. So the girl took her to, I believe it was Backpage. I haven't read the article ever since I did the part one to the Chrystul Kizer story that I did here on my YouTube. But it was some type of website, and the girl was telling Chrystul, there's this guy, he has, everything that you would need for you and your siblings. So after that, Chrystul ended up meeting with the guy, and then the guy he started to become more friendlier and more friendlier. Well, not friendlier, but he became more and more friendly towards Chrystul. And, with Chrystul not only suffering in life, going through a lot of things in life, that was her output as to what she stated at court. She's been through a lot, and he was the only person who, made her feel better. And he was giving her gifts. He would buy her cupcakes for her birthday, doing everything that she would want done for her by whomever, whether it was a friend, a family member, boyfriend, whomever. So the relationship ended up turning into a situation as to where he was the guy who Chrystul killed and protected herself from. Uh, he turned Chrystul into a prostitute, and that's another reason how Chrystul. That's another way how Chrystul. Well, that's the main way how Chrystul made money to not only support her, but to also support her siblings. Unfortunately, she didn't want to be in that situation, as she stated as well. Everything happened so fast, and she didn't know what was going on until after her high went down from when he drugged her. The guy who Chrystul killed, he drugged her and raped her, and he also had other people drug her and rape her when she went to go prostitute herself to the other men. So let's continue on with this video. I just had to correct that because in this video, I just, not my video personally, but his video. In that video, I want you all to see how this dude has no idea what the heck he is talking about. He is jumping to conclusions and he is telling a whole bunch of lies. He didn't look deep into the situation like I did, which is why not only did I read that huge article, but I want you guys to read it as well so that you guys can understand more. But I just you guys will see more, in the later on in the video. The video, we're at about a 2 minute mark and we have approximately 10 minutes to go. And before I continue, also, Chrystul was, well, like I would say, like most children. She said, when she was talking in court, she said that she respected him and did what he said because he was an adult. Now, that topic right there, that's a topic that goes very, very deep. Especially, like, I would say in every community, but especially in the black community, because in the black community, molestation, rape, and all of that is covered up like crazy, unfortunately. And that's another reason why Chrystul, fell in the predicament that she fell in. Because, he was an adult and she felt as if, I should respect him, I should do what he says, this, that, and so forth. So, that's another thing. But parents, please, I don't care what age your child is, as soon as they start talking, even if it's like baby talk, show them the places where people should not touch. Tell them if something should happen, come to me, or your father. If the child is in a 2-parent household, and also please stop. Learn the real meaning of an of respecting an adult. Well, yeah, respecting an adult, because there are so many people out here in this crazy, nasty, sick world who takes advantage of little stuff like that when it comes to not only children but minors. And even if, you know, the victim is not a minor, it's still wrong. First of all, yeah, there's an extent as to where, you know, we should respect our elders. However, you have to earn respect before it is given. And like I said a few seconds ago, there are a lot of sick people out in the world who use that phrase, um, you should respect an adult and all this other stuff. And they use it in the most sickest ways as possible. And then that's when, that's how they take advantage of the child, and then things start happening or things are said that shouldn't be said. So you guys get where I'm going with that, but let me continue on with this sick pedos video.
So they wind up talking and different things like that, and he wind up the usual scenario, buying her gifts, spending money on her. In fact, I think she got into it with her boyfriend, and she wound up going to jail. So this white man bailed her out. So then,
Relationships, I just had to stop the video again just for a quick second. I'm sorry, you all, but like, most of us know how horrible relationships can be, as to where you have to end the relationships But just because Chrystul ended the relationship with her boyfriend, doesn't mean that she was sexually attracted to this old man. That is not what it means. It's like not only him, but that's what the media is making it seem like, but it's not. Like I said, you guys have to really like read the article that I posted and then look really deep into the story, and if necessary, put yourself in someone else's shoes, because that just doesn't make sense when you hear it. Like, me and my boyfriend didn't work out, so I went to so I went to an old. No, that doesn't make sense. And that's why she went to an old man. That doesn't make sense. Like, people go through stuff all the time when when they're in a relationship, but that doesn't scar a person. What scars a person is not only trauma, but also people taking advantage of them. She ended the relationship with her boyfriend. I forget why, but they just went through things like everyone does. Like all of us do when we're in a relationship. When we're quote unquote young and dumb. Not all of us start dating early. Like with me, I didn't start dating until I was 19, and that's the God's honest truth. I was just very focused on school and bettering myself, and all this other stuff. So not only did I not start dating until after my first year of college, but I was still young, and I experienced some things that I was like, no, I know my self worth, and this guy is doing things, or he's not the type of guy that I'm truly interested in. So I moved on. Same thing with this situation. She wasn't they went through some things. She became not interested, and they moved on from each other. Continue on with his video.
From what I understand, she tried to cool off the relationship, so the white man started threatening her, saying, "Okay, you owe me for this, you owe me for that."
He did threaten her,
So what did
yes.
she do? She started having sex with him.
She was forced.
A white man in his mid-30s, 16-year-old girl. Sounds familiar? DJ Pope, DJ Kid, except he was in his 40s, and he was doing it in his 30s too. But my thing is, you didn't have to have sex with him just because he bailed you out of jail and he bought you gifts and certain things like that. You didn't owe him your body.
She knows that she didn't owe him her body because, like I stated in my last video, and like it stated in the article as well, she was drugged. And when she woke up, and like, yeah, she knew what was going on, but she was completely out of it because he drugged her and then raped her, or quote unquote have sex with her. Like, when you drug someone and then have sex with them, that's rape, period. Like, it doesn't make sense. You're a victim blaming, dude. But it, oh gosh. This guy swears that he knows what he's talking about. Let's continue.
And then it comes to find out that, allegedly he was renting her off to other white men, other old ass white men. So he started, allegedly, according to her, renting her out to other old white men. Sound like some slave mentality type stuff. The things that the overseers and the slave masters used to do. Because all white people didn't own slaves, so what they used to do, they would rent them out. Rent them out like a car, or whatever the case may be, or a DVD, or rent them out. X amount of hours or days. Used to rent sisters out. So this is what this white man allegedly was doing, renting her out to other old ass white men, older white men, and she was having sex with them, doing all kind of sexual things with them.
Because she was drugged.
Come to find out,
and he
Okay,
took
let me
advantage of
fast
her.
forward. Um, one night she went over to his house, and allegedly they got into it. She had a gun with her, and she killed him. Now the autopsy said he was sitting in his chair. They found him in his chair.
So first of all, Chrystul defended herself against him because he was physically, not only physically abusing her, but he also pinned her down as to where she was trying to run out the door and escape. So he snatched her, he pinned her down, and then somehow she squirmed from under him and got away after kicking and everything. And then she went towards the gun, and when he was coming after her again, she shot him. That's what happened. He was not sitting in his chair. I don't give a damn what the autopsy says. You don't just she all after this all this that has been going on with Chrystul was going on for a while with this old guy. It was going on with the for a while. And I understand that frustration can build up, but if it was going on for a while and they were quote unquote close friends as to what was stated in the article, like she wouldn't just jump up and be like, and shoot him. Something had to be going on in the act, and she responded, and then she shot him in self-defense. But with the close friend part, like I said, that goes really deep when it comes to you telling your kids that's an adult, so you must respect him or her, or you must do what they say. All this and that. It goes a long way. And then on top of that, her mom had her experience things that she should have never experienced at not only a young age but also an older age. Chrystul had no life ever since her mom had her second child, and like I said before in the video, the beginning of this video, Chrystul was the oldest of both of her and both of her siblings, and her mom was hardly working. But when she worked, it was a part-time job. Not only was it more complicated because um she first became a mom at 15 with Chrystul, but also she had her kids back to back. She continued to put not only her but mainly Chrystul in predicaments that they could have avoided. But let's continue on with his video.
Now, how you gonna fight and how you gonna fight somebody and then wind up in your chair? Don't sound right.
You're right on that
If the
point, that
autopsy is
part.
true and he was in his chair when he got shot in his head, that means you shot him when he wasn't looking. You killed him when he wasn't looking.
Which wasn't the case.
Or unexpectedly killed him. Again, he was in his chair. So this sister decided to, shoot him in his head. She stole a laptop, burned the house, burn the house and the body, trying to get rid of the evidence, and then you stole a BMW. Now, after you stole that BMW, you went somewhere, a convenience store, and you had 4 people in the car. You had 3 other people beside yourself in the car. With your joyriding. And then you get on Facebook, and then you talk about, and you're bragging, it seems as though you're bragging about what you did. I've seen pictures of you on Snapchat. You're smoking weed coming out your nose and out your mouth. You a street girl.
Let me just say that most people are going to try weed at least one time in their life. At least once. Most people. Especially people nowadays. But well, I can't even say nowadays, but because you know weed has been around for much longer than we can guess. But because she's smoking weed, she's a ghetto street girl. There are a lot of educated people and people who have, you know, great jobs because they went to college just like me, and all this other stuff. They always looked forward to bettering themselves in life, and they tried weed a few times. That doesn't mean that they're street, hood, or ghetto or whatever. And I'm not just talking about females right now. I'm talking about men as well. Like I just said, people are going to try weed at least one time in their life, but just because someone smokes weed doesn't mean that they're a bum. There are politicians who smoke weed. There are teachers who smoke weed. There are police officers who smoke weed. There are people in every single profession who smokes weed. That does not mean that they're ghetto and a ghetto, a street girl, or whatever you would like to call it, hood rat, whatever. That does not mean anything about anything. But since he knows everything, let's continue and watch the last 6 minutes of his video. More than likely, I'll be stopping it again because towards the end of the video is when he starts going off on things as if he knows what the hell he's talking about.
You seem to me you ain't no a lot of sisters trying to make it seem like she was victimized and he misused her and all of that and he raped her.
She was
No, you don't fit.
victimized.
You don't look like no rape victim to me.
So a rape victim is supposed to look like something? There are a lot of rape victims who got help. And whether they got help or not, they they still move forward in life. They didn't let that hold them back. Yes, it's a very difficult thing to experience. However, that really doesn't make sense. You sound so retarded right now, dude. Like no one sells no one huh, no one. I'm sorry, you all. I forgot what I was about to say because I just got frustrated so quick off of that. Like, it doesn't make sense. How the hell is a rape victim supposed to look? Like, are they supposed to be wearing a skirt? Are they supposed to be wearing sweatpants? Are they supposed to be wearing jeans? A sweater, a crop top. Like, you explain to me how a rape victim is supposed to look because you really don't make any sense right now. That is that's the most retarded comment that I've heard in 2021 this far. You don't look like a rape victim. No,
Not in your Snapchat videos and the way the way you acting and parade. You seem like you're a street girl.
young kid when kids are that age around, like high school age, they're going to record every single thing because like especially when they're out having fun with their friends or whomever. That's just them. But just because like she's parading around with these people and they're fooling around doesn't mean anything. They're just more than likely just having fun with each other. And like I said before, just because she smoked weed doesn't mean that she was a street girl. But you know everything, so
I don't know. You decide to jump in the world. You decide to
no
come off the porch, jump in that.
correction. Her mom made her jump in the world because her mom was a weak single mother who put Chrystul in a predicament that she should not have been in. There are a lot of single mothers and a lot of single fathers who raise either like their daughter and or their son or daughters and sons to the fullest of their ability, and their kids don't end up like the end up in the predicament like Chrystul was traumatized as a young child as to what she stated when she went to court and was talking in front of the judge. During her trial, she said that she has been traumatized ever since she was a little girl. Was that her fault? No, that was her mother's fault because not only was her mother a single mother who was, first of all, she had Chrystul at 15. You can hardly find a job at 15. And then on top of that, you barely worked, and if you worked a part-time job, and then you bought in, you kept, like dating random guys, and you bought in a guy who you barely know into your home and had him stay while he sit at home, not do anything, not work, not be a provider, none of that. But you stayed in an abusive relationship, having your kids look at that as if it was okay. And then, especially Chrystul, because she was the oldest, and the other kids, they were still of age, but they were, a tad bit younger. So it's like they knew that something bad was going on, but they didn't know exactly what was going on. But not only did the kids witness that, but also the guy abused your kids. So all this trauma, like when Chrystul first began to experience all this trauma, it was not her fault. Sir, I'm not even going to call you sir because I have no respect for you at all. But pedo, because that's exactly what you are and that's how you sound. You sound just like Zillionaire. How Zillionaire victim blamed all these people or sexualized and down talked all these black queens. And then, everyone turns around and end up finding that Zillionaire is a pedophile. He molested two girls, one 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, or 14-year-old, and then there was a third one which was new. You sound exactly like him when it comes to this victim blaming stuff. Exactly like him. So no, I'm not taking that as it's Chrystul's fault. I'm not taking that as an answer. It's not her fault. It was never her fault. And at the end of the day, her mom chose to bring her in this world despite her age. Chrystul didn't ask to be here. And Chrystul damn sure didn't ask to go through what her mom took her through. But let's continue with this video and see what else he has to say about Queen Chrystul.
World and mess with this old ass white man. Just like them girls with DJ Pope or DJ Kid, Jason Pope.
Those are different situations, but continue on.
See, the bottom line is, you sisters, y'all doing, especially a lot of you young teenage girls, y'all out here doing some foul stuff, some sexual perverted stuff with these old ass white men, and y'all.
How do you know? Do you know because you're a pedophile, just like the ones who are preying on our black princesses? Is that how you know? Because if you're talking of not only like about your own race like that, but like talking about a girl like that, and you're sexualizing her, period. If you're talking about her in that way, in that manner, you're sexualizing her. And with most pedophiles, when that's another sign about a pedophile, they sexualize black girls, especially young ones, and say that they're doing this, they're doing that, whether they are or not. But that's kind of stuff, like when they sexualize the victim, that kind of stuff turns them on. And it's very sickening how it turns them on. Just like they may see um, uh, a teenage mother, that may turn them on. Like they are turned on by the most smallest stuff, and it's sick as hell. It's so sick about how easy they get turned on when it comes to sexualizing girls, especially little girls, our babies. She can be nothing but 4 years old and she gets sexualized. She's because she walks a certain way or because she talks a certain way. She's a fast ass. She's um she's doing it. He starts to, then he starts to look at her body. And unfortunately in the black community it's much worse because, like, even with history, there was like everyone knows how I'm trying to think of the right word, but everyone knows how us black women's bodies are very, they're, let me see, voluptuous, whatever, like, like how our breasts are, hips, butt, um lips, like, that's just like, I'm thinking of, okay, yes, her name is Sartiji Bartman. That's just like her. So Sartiji Bartman was a black queen, excuse me, who was not only raped but was bought by all of these white men during slavery, and she would be forced to dance. She would be forced to have sex. So like again, rape, and she would be sexualized. Like she was only 18, I believe, when she passed. But this started years before she passed, and she was being sexualized, unfortunately, because everyone knows how different our bodies are when, because, like how different us black women are when it comes to our bodies, being full and um, like everything being full on us. And they were curious about how her body was and, all this other stuff. And they ended up, I know when she passed from AIDS, they ended up chopping off her genital area, cutting out her genital area, chopping off her buttocks because she had extremely large buttocks, and cutting off her breast as well. So, like I said, that whole sexualizing thing when it comes to black women, that goes way back to slavery. Yes, there are a lot of ethnicities, a lot of people in every ethnicity who has a quote unquote full body. But because of slavery, like us black women are known to not only have a full body, but then like also when people see us, they see how we have, like, how our bodies are. Our bodies are like, excuse me, I would say that we don't look like how our bodies are full, they don't look sloppy. They look uh that like everything on us is just more plump compared to other people, and we tend and it tend like when it comes to us who are full figured, we don't have a lot of fat on us, and that's just like even after a baby, like we snap back quick as hell after giving birth to a child, compared to other ethnicities where their stomachs are like they stay just like that. You know, their stomachs are like they have the cupcake stomachs. If y'all know what I mean, like if you look at a black woman and then look at like let me see, like women in other ethnicities, you'll see how quick she'll get back to just being normal, having a normal life and working and just walking and doing all this stuff, as to where it doesn't, like it doesn't really, like it's just it's weird. Oh gosh, it's so hard to try and explain, but I mean, it's just so hard to explain. And I know that if you're of another ethnicity, no, I'm not being rude to y'all, but it's just like everyone knows that, like, not only does everyone know about how perfect our bodies are, but also like when it comes to um like our skin and everything, we can be like 80 something years old and still look young as heck. Like there are a lot of people of different ethnicities who not only told me, but a lot of other black girls or other black women, um you for your age you have a great body. They weren't like saying it in a sexual way. They were meaning toned. Like it's quote unquote perfect because I'm toned. And also that meant that I didn't have an overlapping stomach, aka cupcake stomach. My stomach was very flat. But also I looked super young for my age, and they're like, "That's great. That's good. I wish that it was like that with me." But it's just like, yeah, us black women tend to not. Mm, we not only were we like sexualized ever since slavery days, but I feel like that's another reason why it I mean, even if you don't have like a nice toned body, like yeah, you can still get molested or something of the sort. But I just feel like when it comes to molestation, there should be no excuse on how someone should be. Some things should happen to that person. It just doesn't make sense. Oh gosh, I started wandering now. I hate when I do that. But yeah, overall, us black women are constantly and always have been sexualized. According to history, and even now, we are over sexualized. Even in like different industries, like modeling industry, acting industry, the music industry, we're always over sexualized, and that's I feel like not only how not only well, no, that doesn't make sense. But I was going to say, like, not only does it not, you know, it's not an excuse because it's been going on from slavery, but I just feel like if you're a grown behind man, you should not be acting or saying anything in no way, form, or fashion to a young girl or a woman that makes her uncomfortable or, try to take advantage of her. So let me continue on with this video. I'm sorry, you all. I started to wander out after I started talking about Tartiji Bartman because like I can go deep, but I don't want to go too deep. Really, um, right now, like I could, but no, it's okay. But that's how I started going off and going off topic and like switching up a little bit, talking about like T.G. Bartman, how our bodies are different compared to other ethnicities, uh, and other stuff because like over sexualization with black women and black girls, it goes so far. Like it's really deep and I could go deep, but I just rather you guys research it for your own, and that's another reason why I um I posted the link to everything about Chrystul Kizer. When she went to court, when she was talking about her story, and all of it. In that particular article, I said, although I'm going to explain to you guys like I did in the last video, I still want you guys to research for yourself, just to get a gist and try and put yourself in the predicament that like a victim would be in. Let's continue on with this video. We have about 5 minutes left on his video.
I know it. But don't nobody want to say, nobody want to talk about that. And a lot of people comparing her to, I think the girl Sithonia Brown or whatever. No, this is not gonna fly. This one is not gonna work, and that these are gonna be two different scenarios. There ain't no way in the world you're gonna steal a laptop, then steal a man BMW after you kill him, you burn the house down, then you're gonna pick up your friends, and then when they ask you if you know this particular man, you're gonna lie and say you don't know him, and then you're gonna say you saw somebody else kill him. That's
Any typical person who would be caught in an act like that, of course they're going to lie. There are some people out there who will tell the authorities straight up about what happened, and then there are other people who will lie. Most people would lie when they're in a situation like that, but with the excuse me with the stealing, not only stealing the laptop but also stealing his car. I don't know what was going through her mind. Like, I know that, like, if I was in a situation like that, I wouldn't steal anything, and I damn sure wouldn't put leave my handprints on anything. That's just common sense. But, I mean, after, at the same time, she was, like, I'm pretty sure she was not thinking because, the only thing that's crossing her mind is that she killed someone and she's just trying to do this and that to keep it off of her mind. About stealing the laptop, I don't know. About burning the house down, of course, burning evidence. But yeah, none of us can really put ourselves in those shoes when it comes to killing a person because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that run through their head. However, I don't, I don't know. I can explain like how she would feel. Like she would have to say that herself. After everyone feels different after, like like a murderer feels different after killing someone. Not saying that um, Queen Chrystul was a murderer, because at the end of the day she's not. She's a victim. She was just, protecting herself and defending herself. But like after a person who is defending themselves against a person, or a murderer killing someone, like all the things that go through their head, it's like they don't really, they're not really thinking. If you guys understand what I'm saying, they don't, like, they just want to get out of that situation as quick as possible, but they don't have time to think.
Lies. No, no. You trying to be street smart. You trying to get the bag, and you gonna do whatever you gonna do whatever you can to get the bag, like a lot of these females doing. Then you even made reference. You even called them the white boy or something like that. So y'all sisters know what y'all doing.
I just hate, and that's another thing that, just like what he said right there, y'all sisters. When people say sister, that means a black woman, a black queen. That's another reason why I was going off topic into a lot of things about how our bodies are made. Like our bodies are just different compared to everyone else. Our features are different. Um, Sartiji Bartman story. That's another reason why I was going into all of that stuff, because not only does it go deep, but because listen to what he just said. Like, he's, like I just said, over sexualizing all black women. Just like the beginning of time, we were always over sexualized by every single person, every single ethnicity. Not just white people, but even though it was mainly white people, it was more than white people. But when it comes to like people in our community over sexualizing us in a perverted way, and don't get me wrong, some females do that too, but that's just so ridiculous. How like everyone groups us black queens into the same category, like one of because one person did it, all of y'all are like that. That's just like on Facebook when you all see those videos about where like black queens are fighting black queens. And well, I'm not even gonna say that. Like, most of us black women are queens, however there are plenty who aren't black queens, although most of us are. So that's just like when you see black women fighting black women on Facebook, or black men fighting black men. People are quick to call us out our name and all this other stuff, and be like, I thought that Black Lives Matter or mattered, or they're all animals and stuff like that. Like, all of this stuff runs deep. Like, this whole situation runs so deep, and this guy, he's even allowing me to point out different viewpoints, which is a good thing, but also it's a bad thing, because he is straight up just disrespecting us. And he not only sounds like a pedophile, just like Zillionaire, but also Tommy Sotomayor. And yes, Tommy Sotomayor is a pedophile as well, and a coon who constantly disrespects black queens, just like this coon pedophile is disrespecting us now. Both Zillionaire and Tommy Sotomayor, they're the same type of people, just like this dude. And no, I'm not going to put this dude's channel out there, because he does not deserve the he does not deserve to have supporters or anything of the sort. And his supporters are straight up, they're just straight up dumb, and pedophiles just like him. Because why would you agree with something like this? I mean, it's understandable that, of course, a racist will agree with him, But other than that, like, how can you be a black man and talk about your black sisters like that? That's beyond me. But let's continue on.
So that's my 2 cents on Chrystul Kizer. And again, like I said, ain't about being emotional. It's not about getting your feelings involved. None of that. It's strictly about the case. You had a boyfriend. You wasn't happy. You decide to get online or go on social media or whatever and find somebody who would do certain things for you. So who popped up? This white man in his 30s and in his mid 30s. You 16 years old. Shucks, you lied to him. From what I understand, you lied to him about your age. I mean, you're just a liar. So then, when you get in all this trouble, and the white man, he ready to collect, and talking about you owe me this, and now he want to have sex with you, so now you gotta bust it open, and then he run game on you and make you bust it open for other white men. I mean, it is what it is. You're a whore, or you a hoe.
Now, even though Queen Crystal lied about her age, you can still look at her and tell that she's young as hell. So that's an excuse. Like, he knew better. He knew better.
Straight up. You're not a victim. You don't look like a victim. The way you acting on your social media, you don't seem like a victim. The way you was acting after the murder or after the killing, you don't seem like a victim. You don't. That's not how a victim behaves. A victim is gonna go and uh, report about what they did, and they're gonna say the reason why they did what they did. But you're not a victim. You somebody who was out here trying to get that bag by any means necessary. Just like City Girls and Megan Thee Stallion, just like they pushing. And see, the sad thing about it is, just like DJ Kid, aka Jason Pope, you know, this is what a lot of black females are doing. This is what a lot of them are doing. From city to city, state to state, this is what's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on when it comes to pedophilia. Not only in the black community, but in every single community. But I mean, that doesn't mean to victim blame. But since you know everything, I'll let you continue off with your video.
But because nobody wants to be honest, it's never really gonna come out. Partially it'll come out. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Tommy Forte, aka Tommy Israel.
And that's the end of his video. I mean, he just said his channel, so if y'all want to go to his channel and bash him, I don't give a damn. Y'all can even tell him that I made a video about him because, I really don't care. Like, I'm not the type of person to start drama, but when it comes to stuff like this, like victim blaming, I don't play about that. I am a victim myself of more than one thing, and it's just so ridiculous about how he's blaming this girl on something that she had no control over. She's been traumatized all of her life. Some people, like in her situation, she really had no outlet to getting help for, how much she's been traumatized. Yes, she played the violin. So, that was something, but at the end of the day, like, You can do something that makes you happy all day long, and those memories still come back to haunt you. But uh, um, I just I just had to go off on this pedophile. I really did, because when I found his video after like trying to look at other videos about Chrystul Kizer, I was just like, are you ridiculous? I mean, are you serious? Because, like, I was just puzzled. I was surprised, but it was like, he started off, like, talk about the story, and then, like, the more and more you get to the end, the more he victim blames. And then he puts all of his black queens into one category. It's ridiculous, but um, now we're going to go into the comment section. So I'm not even going to like read all the comments or like go to the comments where I responded. He said his channel and the at the end of the video. So unfortunately, I really didn't want to put his video out there because he shouldn't receive views or anything of the sort. But if you guys want to go to his channel and go to the Chrystul Kizer video that he did and bash him, by all means, have fun. I don't care. He's a piece of crap, and I pray to God that he doesn't have daughters. Um, but so like overall with his comment section, they like half of the comments were egging him on, and half the comments were checking him. Where people, half the comments were from people who were egging him on, and then the rest of the half of the comments were people were correcting him and going off on him just like I was. And in this particular comment, I am going to read one particular comment, but and that will be it for my video. But give me a second, please, to find it. There aren't too many comments on this video, so should be able to find it in a second. So, fortunately, I can't find it right now. But basically, what he was doing was he was talking about how he was talking about how just like he mentioned in the video about how he feel about us black queens, talking about how we all go in one category and we all chase men for money and stuff like that. He was saying, those kind of things. So I went under that comment and I responded and was like, excuse me. I told him, I said, well, I responded to his comment and I said, what about the black boys / black men who are out in the street, doing this and that for money, selling drugs, being bums, not taking care of their kids, and all this other stuff? I said, what about that? He was really quick to, bash us about, how we go out there and we'll do whatever for money. Yes, we'll do whatever for money, but it won't be in a negative way like this. This was an unfortunate situation. This had no bearings on her nor the rest of us black queens. However, what us black queens will do is we'll make sacrifices to better ourselves in all of the most positive ways as possible. We won't, sell ourselves on purpose for money or for drugs or any of that. We'll go out there and we'll fight for what's ours. We'll work. Even if that means working 2 jobs, we will get out there and we will work for what we want or work for what we need. And that's just like like on top of that, there are some black females who aren't queens who will sell themselves for money or drugs and this and that. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, they're a sister, but they're not a queen, because that right there is not queen material. If you're aware of what you're doing, That's not queen material. Queen Chrystul was not aware of what she was doing. She was not only traumatized, but she was drugged by this man. All of that goes into effect. Traumatized, period, it is a drug itself. When like trauma is a drug itself, not traumatized. I'm sorry about that little word mix up. But yes, trauma is a drug within itself. Like people do stuff that they don't realize that they're doing that's hurting them, when it comes to a certain situation, until something like this happens, or just something bad overall happens. So let's just stop victim blaming, and let's start helping others. Like, if someone's in a situation and they're reaching out for help, and you see that they're really struggling and stuff, like, reach out to them and talk. Like, even if you just talk to them, that's good enough. But also make sure that they go get help. Check up on them, especially when it comes to us black queens. Like, right now I'm gonna talk to my black queens, and my sisters. So to both my black queens and my sisters, we have to start not only unifying with each other, but also unifying for the sake of our community, and that includes our children. For the ones who have children, same thing with black men. I'm going to bring you all into this. Black men and brothers, go into please start uniting with one another for the sake of our community and the children as well. We need to all stop this hate that was that had a spell on us ever since slavery. We need to stop all of this, and unite with each other despite what's going on in the world and all this other stuff. We need to unite, because I'm going to go deep for a second, but the reasons why there are so many things going on in the black community and why we're the laughing stock is because of how they made us ever since slavery. So anyone else, like whoever is in other ethnicities, y'all can go on and talk junk about us, or like call us out our name and everything, but just know that y'all started that. We didn't start that. Y'all started that during slavery. Y'all started that whole colorism thing. Y'all started that whole thing where you put a black woman against another black woman, regardless of her skin color. A black man against a black man, regardless of their skin color. Started the whole thing about, like, started the whole thing that's been going on for almost a century with having our men sell drugs in our community and kill off our people. Like, y'all brought all of this pain and suffering onto us. Yes, we are overcoming it. It's slow right now, but we're overcoming it. And when we officially overcome it together, then y'all won't do, y'all are going to turn into the laughing stock. Because once we all unite, there's not, like, of course, like, there's coons out there who don't want to unite. That's on them. I mean, at the end of the day, it's only about the ones who are really down for the cause. But soon we won't be the laughing stock. Soon we'll be the stock that y'all want to be. So that's to all the ethnicities out there who has stuff to say about my black queens, black kings, brothers, and my sisters. But yes, please continue to spread awareness about this type of stuff. But I mean, victim blaming, I really can't say much about it. Unfortunately, it's going to keep going on because, like, especially when it comes to men. But what we can do is we can stick up for us. We can still stick up for ourselves, and continue on for the better. But unfortunately, when it comes to us black queens, like even the sisters, when we do stuff like this, that's the only reason why we get in trouble is because the color of our skin. I forget who created that quote, but just like he said, the color of your skin is your sin. And that's the God's honest truth. Why y'all think that there's so much frustration in the black community when stuff goes on, or like someone in our community gets killed, or someone in our community, kills someone, because we don't face the same consequences that other ethnicities do. We can sell drugs to someone and get life. We can um, protect ourselves against our aggressor and get life. Chrystul Kizer. We can, like report a situation that we were in, go to the courts and all of that, and nothing happens to the person. Like, it's, y'all have to do research for yourself for those who are not in the community, because all of this stuff is so deep, which is why I'm going in. Like, it goes so far and so deep. But thank you all for, listening to this video. I'm glad that I made it long enough so that the people who, work their behind off every single day, if you want to listen in with your headphones at work, that's it's a great thing that I made this video that this long. I I knew that I would make it to about an hour, but I'm over an hour, so I hope that that takes up a lot of y'all time. If you would like to listen to this video, I hope to see you guys soon. Not only still super busy with the housework and my business, but I'm also working on a project for my black community. So, and it's not only the black community of where I currently live, but it's a black community all over the U.S. and also outside the U.S. So that's going to take up the most of my time, really, when I think about it, which is okay. I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, I hope to see you guys soon. If I don't, it's because of one of those. Because, yeah, I'm a busybody. But yeah, thank you all for listening again. Have a blessed day. Bye.